Welcome to Sikbaggers YouTube channel. I'm Steve. Today we're going to be doing something kind of different than we normally do. Now we normally do install videos on our channel and maintenance videos on baggers and Softail related models in case this is your first time coming to our channel. But today we're going to be talking about motorcycle lifts. I get tons of questions on the motorcycle lifts that we use here in the shop. So today I want to cover the one brand that we've been using for years and why we bought a second one. Now back here in the background, you see this lift in almost all of my videos. I very rarely use a jack. We do have motorcycle jacks in here, but we mainly just use our jacks to move bikes around if we have to, and then we put all of the bikes on the table. Getting a little older and makes it a lot easier to work on. Today we're going to be talking about the two lifts that we use here in the shop, and that is the APlus brand. You can buy these lifts straight from the APlus website, or you can buy them actually from Amazon. This one was bought from the website. That one was bought actually from Amazon. It comes from the same place, so just depends on where you want to put your money in the computer to get yourself a lift. I'll put links to these lifts down in the description down below. I don't work with APlus lift. I don't get any kickback if you buy one. I don't get any bonuses, any percentages, no sales. I don't work with them at all. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion on the lifts that we have here in the shop. Now a lot of things have changed over the years in between this lift and that lift, and I wanted to make sure to do my homework before I bought a second lift. I've been super happy with this one, so we ended up getting an identical one. But I did a little bit of homework before I actually purchased it, just to make sure there wasn't something better out there or equally as good for a less price. I mean, we all want to save a little bit of money. These things aren't exactly cheap, but you really only have to buy them once. So if you're working on your motorcycles quite a bit, a lift table is going to benefit you greatly. So I've scooted the camera back just a little bit so you can see the whole lift. I want to talk about this lift in particular that we have. It's the 1500 pound XL. Now with the XL package, I think it's $200 more, but you get the side skirts, and I do believe you get the chopper extension for the front, and that's over $200. So if you just get this package, the XL package, you'll save a little bit of money there. This is an air lift. You have to have a compressor that it pushes at least 90 PSI to use the lift properly. I don't work on a lot of ATVs, four-wheelers, trike, stuff like that, so I didn't necessarily need the side tables, but I'm going to tell you what, they come in super handy. Now if it's a bike that I can push up onto the lift, I normally do, and some of the touring models that we get in here just don't run and we have to push them on the lift. But so if you're riding the bike up on the lift and you have these side tables, you obviously have a place to put your feet. It's going to be even like a floor. If not, you've got a pretty big drop, then you have to get your legs all bowed in underneath the bike to make sure you can see the edge of this touring model is almost even with that inner piece. So you got to get your feet in here, which makes it kind of hard to get on and off the bike. It really helps if you got two people, if you don't have the side skirts. Now this one comes with this style wheel clamp where it actually locks your wheel in. I use this style over the kind that you like might mount in a trailer that have the little flip up thing in the rear. And if you have like a wrapped fender, they come down really far. When that thing flips up, you're going to take the chance, more than likely you're going to hit that fender. So that's a big reason why we don't use those flip up kind. Plus when you drive on, they lock in and then they're super hard to push off and get off the lift. So these work great. Once I set the bike on the lift, I can clamp this front tire and I can pretty well let go of the bike. I don't get too far away from it. It is a heavy bike, but this wheel clamp will hold this bike long enough for you to get off, kind of reestablish your grip on the handlebars, get yourself a jack under the middle, or like our bikes have air ride and center stand, so we just drop it right on the lift and lift it up. You can see here on the back of the table in this orange square right here, this is a dropout. It's a rear wheel dropout plate, so this comes off, and of course the ramps come off as well. You can see this one is well used. Now if I'm back here working on the back of the bike, I just pop these ramps off and just stand them off to the side, and then when I get ready to take the bike back off, just put the ramps back on. The APlus lifts do come with the little like sandpaper tape that you put down for traction. It comes with a few pieces of it, so you can decide where you want to put those. On this one, I just have them straight down the middle of the whole lift. On the new one that we got, which I'll show you here in a minute, you can kind of see it back over there in the background, That one came with a few small pieces of it, and I actually just purchased some more on Amazon, just bought a roll of it, and I could cut it and put it where I wanted it. But that brings me to another point that I want to talk about, and is this table. I've seen some of these lifts that this whole thing is like diamond plate. To me, that style table, yeah, it's going to give you grip when you're on it, but how long are you actually on your lift just to get the bike on and get the bike off? Outside of that, it's diamond plate, so it just attracts a crap ton of dirt. So I like these smooth surfaces. The A+ lift does come with a center jack. It's not this one. I purchased this one on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description down below on that one as well. I purchased this one because it's a wider base than the one that actually comes with it. The one that comes with it's fine. I have it over there. I'll show you in a second, but this one here is a lot. It's probably almost twice as thick width-wise this way, so it's, to me, it's holding more of the bike. Take you off the tripod for just a second, so bear with me with the shaky camera, but right here underneath it, you can see it does have a safety bar. We always use that safety bar. I never lift it up and just up and down, up and down, up and down using the foot pedal. I use that safety bar. No matter where, you've got quite a bit of slots right there to put that bar. If you move up here to the front, you can see the bearings that ride up and down this right here. So this is always something, after a while, I put a little bit of grease on that just to kind of help that roller out on the inside over there. So you can see the whole underside of this table. I'm gonna zoom in up over here so you can see this roller. And those cobwebs right there, unfortunately for you guys, those do not come with the lift. So you'll have to get those on your own. But you can see the rollers right there that roll back and forth on that. And then the rollers down here, you got some bearings. So just to get you a few measurements on it real quick without a bike on it, the center itself is 24 inches. The side extensions are 12. So it gives you another 24 inches. You got 48 inch total on that. And from rear to front, 84 inches. So that gives you some measurements on that. Locked into the top safety position, you're at 32 inches. Now this one does come with a different foot pedal that came with the older one. The older one over there never really stays in the neutral position, so that's why I always use that safety bar. I mean, it's just smart to use it anyway, but I can never leave the hose plugged into it, because no matter where I put the pedal, it's either dropping the table or it's raising the table. So every now and again, it'll just kind of raise the table or lower it, depending on where it is. So I can never really find neutral on that style pedal. But this one is their new patent pending pedal, and I do have a few complaints about this one. Not a big fan of this one either. If you look here on the side of the pedal, you got your input and then you have your output. So your air goes in here from your air line, and then this, you've got a hose connected to the cylinder that connects right here. So my big issue with this thing is this. This allows air to leak. I have this taped up with silicone tape. So if I move this out of the way, and you can see I can keep turning this, well, where it's tight is right there, up like that. That hose is laying on the ground. So the hose now has a big loop going to it. So that's tight. I can't get it any tighter than that. And that's the position that it puts this hose in. Don't care for that at all. So I have to back this off to where the hose can lay flat, and now we have this slop. So not a big fan of that either. But this right here is a huge issue for me. It does have some ports on the other side, and I've wanted to contact them to see if I can't maybe move one of these to the other side. Like that one over there, it has one coming in and one going out. It's not both on the same side like that, which is a goofy, I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, not a huge fan of this pedal at all. So like I said, you will get the chopper extension with it right there. It goes on the front. I will probably never use that. Not a big fan of working on choppers. This is that jack I was telling you about, so it's much thinner and there was no rubber on top of it. Not a huge fan of the jack being slick. I ordered these little step plate rubber things off of Amazon. You can see they just stick on there. If you want to use these on anything, I'll put a link in the description down below. They're pretty cheap. So when you're rolling a bike up on the lift, to keep your tire from shooting off the front of the lift, they offer this piece right here. This goes in and you put a pin through it. Unfortunately for me, they drilled it incorrectly. So you've got holes on this side, no holes on this side, but holes on the bottom. which makes 0 sense. So when you put this in, you put a pin through that square on the outside, goes through this, comes out the other side, and comes out the other side of that square, straight through, keeps this thing from moving. They drilled it with the holes on the bottom. So no holes on this side, holes on this side, and holes on the bottom. Not quite sure what that was, but that's definitely some quality control issues. I mean, somebody had to take this part and wrap it in bubble wrap before they put it in the box. You can clearly see that the holes are drilled wrong. So I will have to put that in the drill press later and correct that. So in order to put the side skirts on, you have these bars. You got 2 back here and then 1 in the front. And before you put the side skirts on, you just shove the bars through this middle piece, and then they're sticking out, you know, 14 inches. You put the 12-inch thing on, you come over here and put the pin in. It makes them super easy to take off and put on. The problem with that is they are definitely not as strong as they say they are. I've had a trike on this lift one time. It says it holds 1,500 pounds. The trike's weighted at 1,250 pounds. So I put a trike on here that didn't have anything in the back trunk area. It was just the trike. And you can see right here, it bent my bars. You can see this big, huge gap right here. And then it gets tighter up in the front. It's because the weight of that trike on this made the edges bend down. Hopefully you can see right here. Let me move this gaffer's tape. I had this gaffer's tape on here because those little D-ring things catch my microphone cord, and I've ripped the microphone cord already once, and it was an expensive fix. But you can see right here, when I rolled the trike up on here, parked it, started lifting it up, it started bending these tables out like this. You can see right here where this metal rod bent, and it caused this metal right here to buckle. And this is the older one, but it is still the 1,500 pound XL. I'm not going to put any more trikes on my lifts, especially the brand new one. I don't want this to happen again. I use these side skirts to put a lot of my tools when I'm working on the bike, or maybe the parts that I'm putting on. When I take bolts off, I set them down. It's kind of like a built-in workbench on both sides of the bike. So I do like having that, but now that I have a bent one, anything that I set on here that's round rolls into the floor. No really significant issues other than the weight thing I kind of had an issue with. And it says it'll hold 1,500 pounds. It should definitely hold 1,500 pounds. So at 1,250, even 1,300 pounds, if there was a couple of extra accessories on that bike, another 50 pounds, it still bent my table. So that's an issue. If you've got a trike, I would look for something else. So now I want to address what I was talking about earlier in the video. If I talk about other lifts, I see a lot of people in the forums that talk about the Harbor Freight lift. A lot of people have good luck with them. I'm just going to tell you right up front, it's not for me. I'm not putting a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 bike on a Harbor Freight lift. It's not happening. Not a bagger anyway. If you've got a soft tail or something like that, you may be okay with it. And I've even seen guys in the forums that absolutely love their Harbor Freight lift. And they have baggers that there is no way I'm putting $50,000 on that thing. I actually purchased one of those probably 6 years ago. I was super stoked to get a lift. It was cheap. I built some boxes to go alongside it that I could stand in the corner, but it was a place to put my feet when I rode the bikes up on the lifts. Did all this extra stuff because there's all these YouTube videos out there to talk about beefing up your Harbor Freight lift. Well, hell, I spent another $250 beefing up my Harbor Freight lift. I got it here, put my Street Glide on it before it was even built, put my Street Glide on there, jacked it up one time, barely pushed on it, and that thing started doing this number. Forget it. I took the bike off and I put that thing on Facebook Marketplace the exact same day that I got it. Couldn't take it back to Harbor Freight because I'd already drilled a bunch of holes in it and upgraded my Harbor Freight lift, so I couldn't even return it. Not for a bagger, not for me anyway. My own personal opinion. If you have one and it works great for you, then best of luck to you keeping it upright. So that's the reason why we just decided to save a little bit more money and get a better lift. One other thing I want to touch on too real quick is delivery. These things are heavy and you have to put this thing together, but it's super easy. I mean, you don't have to put the cylinder and all that. Basically, these things are heavy. Basically, the center part comes all put together. The cylinder and the hose and everything, it's all connected. And then you have, if you get the XL, you don't have to get the XL. You can just get the center part if you want to. But if you get this table, you have to put the side tables on, all that. You do have to bolt on your wheel chock up front. And I think that's about it. It'll be delivered by a freight carrier in a diesel truck, and it'll have like a Tommy lift on the back, and they have a pallet jack, and that's about it. So a lot of places won't even let you order one of their lifts unless you have a forklift or access to a forklift. And I don't know about you, but I'm fresh out of forklifts. So I called them and they said, yeah, it's no problem. You know, we'll drop it in your driveway as close as we can get it to wherever you want it, which is clear up on the other side. So I had a long way to pack it to get it back here. It's a big wooden crate, and I just unpacked everything. And then I, with the help of my son, I actually put the whole middle section, which is quite heavy because it is built, I put that on a dolly and strapped it like 5 times to a dolly, and I just leaned that thing over and pulled it as hard as I could to get it back here through the gravel. That kind of sucked, but if you got concrete or asphalt, you're going to be fine. But I had to pull it from the concrete in the front through the gravel into the concrete in here, and the gravel part sucked. But we kept it upright. My son just kind of guided me, and I just pulled with everything I had to get it back here, stood it up, took the straps off, and we laid it down. At the expense of dropping it one time on my son's toe. I tell you how heavy that thing is. His big toe was black for about a month, and I felt about this big when that happened. So I appreciate my son helping me and kind of taking one for the team on that one. We went to go lift up one side of it and didn't realize how heavy it was, and it slipped and it landed right on his foot. So be super careful moving this lift because it is heavy. So let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the Harbor Freight lift, this lift, any other lift that you may be using out there, pros and cons, prices, all that good stuff. And you know, prices change over time, and I can tell you this much: this lift compared to that lift was about a $650 difference. So you can take that into account, you know, 5 years from now, how much they might be. So like I said, I'll put a link down below. You can click it and it'll take over to their website or to Amazon, and you can see the current prices. But hey, like I said, if this is your first time to our channel, make sure you check out the rest of our channel. It is Sick Baggers for a reason. We don't just review motorcycle lifts, but this was a video that I wanted to get out for you. But we have over 200 videos on our channel with baggers and soft tails, installs and maintenance and all that good stuff. So check it out. Tell your friends about us. If you like what you see, hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell your friends about us. I'm gonna get out of here, get myself back to work. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, as always, be safe. Keep your knees in the breeze. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe popping up over here. And don't forget to check out the rest of the channel because we have a ton of bagger related and soft tail videos on our channel. And to get you started, maybe you can check out this one or this one. I'm not really going to say anything else. You can just click one of those and take you over to another video.